Okay, good. How are current trends among business and leisure travelers affecting the performance of hotel properties today, especially as it relates to our current economic situation, where we are in the economic recovery, et cetera?
So just holistically, transient demand has recovered, right? It's been back for a while. It's actually beyond peak, right? So it's already exceeded the past peak. The recent trends, I think you're seeing it in the influence of the newer brand prototypes that are coming out, and everyone is talking about the Gen Y customer, how they act. You know, more time in the public areas, but they aren't necessarily interacting with people. They just want to be there and do their own thing. So you're seeing more outlets in the public areas. And kind of less time spent in the guest room. So, you know, opportunity to revisit guest room sizes. Leisure travelers, I think it's still a value proposition. And you didn't ask about group, but group has been very interesting since it has been the last segment to recover, and it hasn't quite gotten back to peak yet. If it wasn't for the government downturn, because the government is down by 50% in terms of its group room night demand, we would be pretty much back to peak group. But the profile of the group has changed. It's not as big. It's a lot smaller. It's a much shorter term. The meeting planners are still not booking the blocks that they'll need to satisfy their group because they're very afraid of attrition. They're not spending as much on the ancillary revenue. And overall, I think that hoteliers, they still are nervous because they don't have that base business on their books, but I think they have to get used to the fact that this is a new norm and it's going to continue to be short term, and just be more comfortable that it will come.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just yesterday with the president and CEO of a fairly large management company that's attached to a REIT, and he expressed almost the exact same sentiment that you did, especially regarding group. And his thoughts were that essentially group business is not back. Everything else is back, doing very well. Group business is not back, but from the management perspective, they just have learned to find other ways to book business rather than doing group, and try to make up for that in other ways, and they've been pretty successful at doing it. So I guess you just have to be sort of flexible in your outlook, and as you said, a little more short term in your views. Yeah,
I think it's having the confidence to sit on your hands and not reacting from a pricing strategy standpoint, and really understanding those booking patterns and studying those booking patterns over the past couple of years, and just drilling that confidence into the GM and the revenue manager, because I think that's part of the reason why we haven't seen the rate growth that we should have seen in this recovery, given such low new supply, is that at the property level they've just been so nervous.
So they're dropping rate before they should.
Right, and it's not that the demand hasn't come, it just hasn't come when they're used to having it come.
Right, so it's a little bit of a new paradigm, it sounds like to me.
Right.
That's great. Okay, well.